There's a waterfall in Minnesota where half of the water just vanishes, literally disappears into a hole, and no one knows where it goes. It's called the Devil's Kettle, and it's baffled scientists and explorers for decades. People have thrown everything from colored dyes to ping-pong balls into this mysterious hole, but nothing ever comes out the other side. It's like the earth just swallows it up. So, where does all that water go? Let's dive into this mystery and find out why the Devil's Kettle remains one of the greatest unsolved natural phenomena. The Devil's Kettle is located in Judge C.R. Magny State Park in Minnesota, along the Brule River. When you visit the park, you see a normal river flowing smoothly until it reaches a split. Here's where things get weird. The river divides into two sections. One half continues flowing downstream like any normal river, but the other half, it plunges into a deep, dark hole in the rocks and just vanishes. That's the Devil's Kettle. Imagine standing there, watching gallons of water pour into this hole every second, and there's no trace of where it goes. It's as if nature created a magic trick, but no one knows the secret behind it. Here's why the Devil's Kettle is so puzzling. In most cases, when water flows into a sinkhole, it eventually reappears somewhere else, like a nearby river or lake. But at the Devil's Kettle, scientists can't find any sign of this missing water. They've tested the surrounding rivers and lakes to look for changes in water levels. Nothing. It's as if the water is disappearing into a hidden underground world. In the past, researchers have tried all sorts of experiments to trace the water's path. They've poured bright, colored dyes into the hole, expecting to see the color show up downstream. They've even dropped objects like ping-pong balls and wooden logs, thinking they might resurface somewhere else. But every single time, these items vanished without a trace. It's like the earth just eats them up. Let's dive deeper into one of the most mind-boggling aspects of the Devil's Kettle, the tracing experiments. In the early 2000s, a group of geologists tried a common method to track underground water flows by using dye tracing. They poured a large amount of non-toxic dye into the hole and waited to see where it would reappear. Normally, this method is pretty reliable. The dye flows with the water and pops up downstream, letting scientists figure out the water's path. But at the Devil's Kettle, nothing. The dye never showed up. This left scientists scratching their heads. How could gallons of water and dye disappear without a single trace? It made them question if there was some kind of massive underground cave system or a hidden tunnel deep beneath the earth. But if that were the case, why haven't we seen any signs of it? Another fun fact, people have tossed all sorts of objects into the Devil's Kettle to see if they would turn up somewhere. They've used GPS trackers, buoyant balls, and even sticks with unique markings. Every single time, the items just disappeared. It's almost as if there's a black hole beneath the waterfall, swallowing everything that enters. Now, let's talk theories. There have been plenty of ideas about where this water might be going. One of the most popular theories is that the water is flowing into an underground river system. In some places, rivers can go underground and travel for miles before resurfacing. But here's the catch. Scientists haven't found any evidence of an underground river near the Devil's Kettle. If there were a large enough cave system to handle this much water, we'd likely see signs of it in nearby bodies of water or during geological surveys. But so far, nothing. Another theory is that the water could be getting absorbed deep into the earth through porous volcanic rock. This rock, known as basalt, can sometimes act like a sponge, soaking up water. But even this doesn't fully explain the phenomenon. The amount of water that disappears into the Devil's Kettle is massive, more than what porous rock alone could absorb without a trace. And then there's the most chilling theory. What if the water is flowing into a massive, unknown underground void, a kind of natural sinkhole that leads deep into the Earth's crust? If this were true, it would mean there's a hidden world beneath the surface, a place we know nothing about. Locals in Minnesota have their own stories about the Devil's Kettle. Some say it's a portal to another dimension. They believe that anything that falls into the hole is lost forever, not just underground, but in another world. It's a fun story to tell around a campfire. And when you see the waterfall in person, it's easy to understand why people think it's supernatural. Others believe it's cursed, hence the name Devil's Kettle. They say that the spirits of the land are angry, and the hole is their way of taking back what belongs to them. It sounds far-fetched, but when you see water and objects disappear without any logical explanation, it does make you wonder. In recent years, scientists have revisited the Devil's Kettle to try and solve the mystery once and for all. In 2017, a team from the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources conducted new tests. They measured the flow rate of the river above and below the falls. Surprisingly, they found that the water volume before and after the waterfall was almost the same. This suggests that the water isn't disappearing after all. It might be rejoining the main river underground, very close to where it falls in. This was a breakthrough, but it's not the full answer. If the water is rejoining the river so close by, why haven't any of the dye tests or objects resurfaced? It's still a mystery that leaves us with more questions than answers. The Devil's Kettle sits on a bed of ancient volcanic rock, which is what makes it so unique. The area was formed over 1 billion years ago by volcanic activity. The intense heat and pressure created layers of basalt rock, which is extremely hard and often cracked. These cracks and fissures could be what's allowing the water to disappear. It's like the river found a secret underground tunnel system made by ancient volcanoes. But even with this explanation, the exact path of the water remains unknown. So, will we ever know where the water of the Devil's Kettle goes? Maybe, but it's going to take more advanced technology and deeper exploration. Some have suggested using high-tech sensors or drones to map the underground area, but it's difficult due to the rough terrain and the force of the water. Others think that only a large-scale drilling operation could reveal the truth, but that comes with its own risks and environmental concerns. For now, the Devil's Kettle remains an unsolved natural mystery. It's a reminder that even in today's world, with all our technology and knowledge, nature still holds secrets that we can't explain. And maybe that's part of the appeal. There's something fascinating about not knowing, about having a place where the laws of nature seem to bend and twist. The story of the Devil's Kettle isn't just about a weird waterfall. It's about our curiosity, our desire to understand the world around us, and our love for a good mystery. Even if we someday find out where the water goes, the legend of the Devil's Kettle will still captivate our imaginations. It's a place where science and folklore meet, where logic and superstition blend together. So, the next time you find yourself in Minnesota, take a trip to Judge C.R. Magny State Park and see the Devil's Kettle for yourself. Stand there and watch the water disappear into that dark hole. Throw in a stick or a leaf if you want, but just know that you may never see it again. And as you walk away, remember this: there are still places in our world that hold mysteries we can't solve, and maybe that's exactly how it should be. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more unsolved mysteries, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below. Have you ever been to the Devil's Kettle? What do you think happens to the water? Let us know your thoughts, and we'll see you in the next one.